My family's been here since the 1800s. My dad's family, they were on what was called the Griffith League. And so they raised cotton up there until they bought places.
I first came out here in 1965. I actually had my first date with Gary. And I'm fascinated with his great-grandmother in particular. Her name was Mary Dorinda Wofford. And when she came here, she was living with Harrison and Angie Howe, who were her grandparents. And Angie and Harrison were some of the first settlers. They actually platted some land here for the town of Chisholm. They called it Village of Chisholm. Her granddaddy, Harrison, gave her this little piece of land we're living on. She and her husband, James, farmed it. And after James died in 1912, she rented out this land to the city, to the town folk, they called them, who wanted to keep cows. And she took care of the cows for the community. But she was just an amazing woman. She was a midwife, and she lived here until 1950 when she died.
Back in those days, you could get out in the middle of what's now 205 and throw a football or a baseball back and forth, you know, and then you'd be playing out there, and then somebody, here comes a car, well, you walk out of the way and let the car go by. Hobos would walk up and down the highway, and they'd stop, mother'd feed them, and they'd ask where the Zollner farm was. That's where most of them were going. And we'd give them directions, a piece of pie, they'd be on their way.
But it was just a small town then, and everyone knew each other. You walked down the street, everybody knew each other, so it was a good feeling to live here.
My family has been here in the McLendon-Chisholm area for 103 years. My granddaddy B.T. Pullen Sr. came to Texas as a young boy, and he started to work over on the Griffith League. That was Charlton Griffith. They had a league of land over there, and my granddaddy was a sharecropper. My daddy and granddaddy were farmers here, and we had around 10 tenant houses on this place at one time. And we would take our hands to Chisholm and buy groceries on Saturday night. There would just be cars parked on both sides of 205 down in downtown Chisholm.
When I moved here, the city had only been a city for, about 15 years. My fondest memories of McLendon-Chisholm back then was the people, and how friendly people were, and how focused everybody was on the quality of life and where they lived, and how proud they were to live in this community. We didn't have a comprehensive zoning plan. We didn't have a land use plan. We didn't have up-to-date ordinances and engineering specifications, but it was a commitment of those who were serving to develop plans for the future that would protect the quality of life and the environment that we have here.
My dad's name was Chuck Hodges, and we moved here in the late 70s, 1978. The mid 80s, he ran for council, and then served as mayor in the late 80s and even into the early 90s. So this was from the Dallas Times-Herald in 1989. So this is my dad walking in front of the previous city hall, and you can tell here he's showing off his new outdoor payphone. That was the big ad.
We have a state highway that runs through McLendon-Chisholm, Highway 205, which is in the process of being transformed from a 2-lane highway. It will go to a 4-lane highway, and then it will end up being 6 lanes. The traffic that's come from our area, from Terrell, Forney, our outlying areas of the county, has grown by 300% since I moved here 15 years ago. I think we have great opportunity for our city.
My first exposure to McLendon-Chisholm was in 1973 when Kathy and I moved to the community. When you look at a community, a lot of people start talking about the amenities that they have at that point in time, and there wasn't much here other than good, faithful folks that had a common sense of the community that they wanted to share, and it was much different at that point in time. And those same people, those same great people that were living there in the 70s have been bringing up their children, and then they continue to stay in that particular area. And so you've got that common thread about what McLendon-Chisholm wants to be and will be in the near future.
Each and every one of the cities in Rockwall County are unique and special in their own way. McLendon-Chisholm is an amazing place. Over the last 10 years, percentage-wise, it's been one of the faster growing cities throughout all of the Metroplex. That's not going to end anytime soon. Growth is on the horizon as more people are going to continue to move to McLendon-Chisholm. And what sets McLendon-Chisholm apart from a lot of other places is that open space. All of that matters. People are intentionally moving to McLendon-Chisholm, wanting to enjoy that rural atmosphere, that rural lifestyle, if you will. And very excited about the growth that's gone on, and I'm very excited about the future for McLendon-Chisholm.
We are the gem of Rockwall County. We are growing. We're always looking for citizens that would like to be a part of an area that believes in community first. And, you know, give us a try. It's a beautiful area. We have beautiful homes, and we have beautiful people.